You couldn't have locked in at a better time, baby. I thank you, Quiet Storm family, for locking in and for being with us. You know, we always like to have special surprises, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be welcoming this brother back to sit down with us and just have a moment of his time because he's doing big things. You know, there is life after Ghostbusters, if that's a hint to anything. This brother is decorated, he's well established, and he is the most prestigious actor in Hollywood. It's a pleasure to be welcomed back to the Quiet Storm. Ernie Hudson, thank you for locking in with us. Thank you for sitting down with me tonight, brother. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I just appreciate being here. It's always an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. So glad to be here.
Brother, you for first, let me back up before I move forward. And it's kind of a kind of a kind of interesting balance of me saying that because we're about to talk about quantum leap. But I want to go back because I just got to give you the accolades on the family business, man. That show. I mean, you brought a different edge to the forefront, and you fit so comfortably in it. I mean, obviously, we remember you. Those of us who go back, you know, from the Ghostbusters days, you came a long way from Winston. You became a tough guy, a boss, a man who you don't want to bump into on any kind of street, whether it's day or night. So the family business, brother, kudos to you. I know you were producing a few of those series episodes.
Yeah, it's great to, as an actor, we get a chance to play with whatever we're offered. We can't kind of create. We can create our own, but it's a little bit more difficult. So when Carl Weber, who's the writer creator of, he's a publisher and has a series of books on the family, asked me to play the patriarch and be the head of the family. And I signed on as one of the executive producers because I wanted to make sure that we didn't lose the focus on the family, which is the reason I wanted to do it. But yeah, and it sort of opened up a whole, a different audience, but it's a little bit different than what I've normally been given the chance to play.
But diversity is the middle name for actors.
Absolutely.
And you have flowed so effortlessly from one situation to another situation flawlessly. So I just wanted to give you your flowers and your acknowledgement on the family business because it was definitely a wonderful run. Is it finished?
No, we're in season 4 now. I think there's one more episode waiting to be shown, and we're waiting to see if BET picks up season 5. But we love doing the show. The audience have been strong, and yeah, so it's great.
I think it's clear to assume, ladies and gentlemen, that season 5 is definitely going to be definitely coming forth because it's I love it. I just love it. I'm not the only one that loves it, but man, I'm so happy that for this new venture that you're on, you're kind of picking up on a show that was once happening, and now it's kind of it's taken on a different light. A few weeks ago, if y'all missed the debut, the premiere of Quantum Leap, for those of you who go back with the show originally, it has now remorphed itself, and Brother Ernie Hudson is a part of it. Your nickname is Magic.
Yes, Magic. He's an interesting character, and I'm so happy to be a part of this show for a number of reasons. One, it's kind of like Ghostbusters in the sense that there's a fan base, but it crosses generations, families, share it and discuss it. I used to watch. I was a single dad to my 2 older boys, and we used to watch the show and discuss, the possibilities of time travel and that whole sci-fi aspect.
Right.
So I was a fan of the show, and then when they brought it back, it's a little bit different, but it's a sequel or a continuation. It's not a reboot, and we knew that we couldn't recreate the old one. Nobody wanted to, but we also wanted to be respectful, and we knew the fans would be watching. But now that we've been up a while, I think they realize that it's true to the original, and it's a lot of fun.
We just spoke a little while ago, Ernie, about sci-fi, and you were watching the original series with your sons at the time. So, are you a big sci-fi guy?
I love sci-fi. I've done a few things. I've done a lot of different kinds of things, but
Right.
yeah, I really, I think sci-fi is sort of, it allows us a chance to look at the possibilities. I can't tell you how much has come out of Star Trek and a lot of things that we just imagine in sci-fi. now is a reality, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and that's where I think this quantum leap thing came from because I'm a big Star Trek guy, and I remember how they used to transport people from the spaceship to the planet that they were on, and this is
Right.
like kind of a well, that's my crazy mind thinking of how this quantum leap thing is. You know, it takes you from one period of time to a different period of time, and if Ernie
Yeah.
Hudson could go back to a period of time right now, what period would that be, and
Well,
why?
the older I get, the more I look into American history, and the more I mean, some periods I'm not sure if I really want to leap into, but I will say the 1940s is when my parents got together. I never met either of my parents, but I would love to see the real circumstances that brought them together. Um, that I know I'm here, so I'm testament to
Yes,
definitely came together,
yes, sir.
but how that all happened, I'd be very curious. My family wasn't around when she got pregnant, so they don't have any information. But I'd love to go back there. But that's a personal, um, that's a personal history. The pre-slavery Africa,
Mm.
I would love to. The real Africa. Um, yeah, and I'm hoping in Quantum Leap we'll be able to explore a little bit more truthfully some of the past historical events because America has glamorized and just the nonsense, and so I think you really have to deal with your truth. So I know we won't go too deep into it, but I just hope that we'll be a little more honest than it's
So,
been
from
in
a
the
creative
past.
standpoint, do you think you'll have, because you bring such a huge presence to every production that you become a part of, because of your history and because the caliber of actor that you are, do you think that you'll be able to convince some of the powers that be to delve back into that period, like pre-slavery moments, and delve up some interesting things?
I hope so. And, they've been very, very well. First off, they did the one thing that I love for producers to do. They came to me and said, "We love your work, and will you be a part of this?"
I love
That's the big thing. I don't. The auditioning thing doesn't work for me. So, and as a result, they will, or they have been very open to my ideas and suggestions. I'm not a producer like I am on Family Business, but yeah, I hope so. And first, I'm hoping that we'll learn a little bit more about Magic. I mean, he's part of the production that makes all this happen, but I'm hoping we'll look into his life in a hopefully realistic way. But so
But we learned,
far, they've been amazing.
and we've learned that Magic is a military man,
He's
so he's an
military lifetime. Yeah.
lifetime.
Yeah.
So he brings a lot of wisdom to the table. Your character.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And the one thing I was afraid of, I didn't want to be this authoritarian, people barking orders. They said military, and I'm like, hold it. I'm not going to be that guy.
Hmm.
This has to be a human being, a three-dimensional, and they listen to that, and I appreciate that.
You're a very humble brother, and I respect that. You know, would you ever play a role that was like that commanding and that um, egomatic, like controlling guy? Could you allow yourself to do that?
Yeah, I think if the script is right and if the character is an honest character, there are people like that. I'd play a person like that, but it's got to come from a real place. Don't put me in that situation and there's nothing around to justify why he's that way. I need to know why this man is, and sometimes as an African American actor, they'll just throw some stuff and say, just do this. And I go, well, why is he so angry?
Right.
So I need to know, and the audience need to know. And as long as, we can justify it, there's a reason. A lot of people in pain, I can play that. I just wanted to know, and I think it's fair to the fans that he at least be a dimensional human being.
If you're a lover of sci-fi, then you're going to love Quantum Leap. Ernie Hudson now is a part of the cast, and we can expect wonderful things and unexpected things to kind of come along his path as he plays the role of Magic, this naval expert that has a lot of people on his back watching every move that he makes, and of
Yes,
course, you
yeah,
have a lot of things that's going wrong at the same time.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
And
good luck
he's
with all that.
he's the only one who's actually been leapt into. So this is a
Mm.
man who, in the original series, they leaped into him and changed his whole future life. So that's the first character we've seen from the original show.
Brother, you have a birthday coming up at the end of the year, which is just a
Yes.
few weeks away. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to know, how are you capping up 2022? Obviously, you're working. That's a great sign. Um,
Yeah.
you're on Quantum Leap.
I'm quite, yeah, work is good. Family business is doing great. Quantum Leap is we just got picked up for the full season. I have three movies coming out within the next few months. One with Woody Harrelson, one with Brian Cox and Kate Beckinsale, one with Nicolas Cage. So all those things are happening. But to me, at this stage in life, it's really about relationships. So I'm hoping I can see my grandkids, my great grandkids,
Mhm.
and now that we're going to have to exit at some point.
Right.
So I want to make sure that they don't look back and say we never knew this guy. So to have time um, while there is time, that's what I look forward to.
Family is very, very important to you.
Family is very, very important. I mean, there's a period when it's all about building careers and me, and you think you're doing it for everybody else, but if you're honest, you're doing it a lot for yourself. But now that I've reached a point in life, I'm like, okay, let me make sure that I touch bases and not have any I wish I had, you know.
I'm kind of curious. Would you? Are you curious to find out more about the family? Because Dr. Henry is key in
Yeah.
doing that, tracing your roots back.
Oh yeah.
Um, would you be interested in learning more about the past history of your family, where it all started, and where you are now?
Yeah, I've always been interested, but my oldest son, Ernest, the second. Now there's Ernest, my son, Ernest, my grandson, and my great grandson. So there are four of us, Ernests.
Wow.
But as I mentioned earlier, I didn't know my father. I lived with my mother's family, but she passed away when I was just a baby. But I never knew him, and so through Ancestry.com, not doing any commercial or anything for them, but my oldest son got very involved, found my father, who
Wow.
had passed on, but I have two sisters and a brother that I never knew, and I wish I'd known them earlier on. We're all up in age now; they're older
Sure.
than I am, but and now I have a really good relationship, with them. My son went even further, and through genetic tracing, found. Uh, Africans. He went to Africa, to
Wow.
Ghana, established families there. We're all planning a trip this coming year to go back, but yeah, that part of us as a people, especially here in America, feeling we were cut off and there's no way of reconnecting. And through
Yeah.
this testing, we can reconnect and feel whole again. I just think that's been, unfortunately, one of the ways that we've been held back in America is to just not be given legitimacy. And I
Mm.
think we have to take it on ourselves to find that. And so through this research, we can make those ties.
Well, look, sounds like to me one of your sons is already a scientist in the making, and with everything that we have at our forefront, he's going to figure out a lot more things. So
Yeah.
kudos to your son for real.
Right.
Before I let you go, man, the birthday is December 17th, so you're a Capricorn, I think.
Sagittarius.
Fire sign. So
Sagittarius, yeah.
what do you normally do on your birthdays?
As the numbers get up, I've never been much in parties, man. I'm very insecure about
Ernie,
a
you're a
party.
young man. You're a young man though, so you got to celebrate your life. What do you do to celebrate? What did you do last year?
Yeah, I just, I tend to be. I've always been afraid of parties because I'm always afraid nobody's going to show up. No, so,
They're
and
showing up for your party, Ernie.
I told a friend that about 30 years ago. I said, I never have a party because he said, man, you're out of your mind. Of course, people are going to show up. So he
See?
threw this party and nobody showed up.
Oh, you fed right
so,
into your thing. You're
so
settled
since
now.
then, but yeah, no, my wife and I, who is my best friend, we've been together 46 years, and
God bless you.
so we will, we'll do something, but it won't be a lot. I'll have a cake. I'll blow out some candles.
Please do that. Please do that.
Not 77 candles, but we'll.
No, well, look. During your birthday, what could you and your wife write a book about how do you stay together? How to stay together now in a relationship? Because Lord knows y'all are stellar trophies in terms of the amount of years that you guys have been together. God bless you both.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, no, my wife is, it's, I can't imagine life without,
I love it.
yeah, it's just, yeah, my life would not be the same without it. And I know that.
But brother, I know you know the value of her, and I know she knows the value of you. And I wish you two a lifetime until the end of time of much more happiness. So God bless you
Thank
both.
you. Thank you so much. And you too, man. I just really appreciate you and everything you do. And, love listening to you. And so just keep being incredible, doing what you do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Make sure you check out Ernie Hudson Quantum Leap weeknights every week. You don't want to miss him. What channel is that on? What network is it on again?
NBC Monday nights after The Voice, 10 o'clock. And I think they also air it on Saturday, and also Peacock, and it streams on Peacock. I don't know, man, all these different things.
Just Google him. If you Google Ernie, he'll pop up. Just follow everything from that point.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
Brother, all great. It's always a great and honor, pleasure to talk with you and to see you. And be safe, be well, and happy early birthday to you. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much, man. You too. Take care.